Hey, so I'm filming this intro straight after I finish editing my last video. So if you haven't watched that one, you can. It's on my channel. But anyway, I'm kicking this video off with some reading. Currently reading this. It is very smart. I kind of went into this with the perception that it was, light and, it kind of got marketed as a bit of a beach read, but it is like razor sharp, like commentary. It's really profound so far. So yeah, that is what I'm reading currently. And what I'm working on currently and what I'll be working on in this video is my second novel, The Go-Between Girl. It's currently sitting at 56,000 words. I'm still on the first draft. And I've been on the first draft for a while, but I kind of got to a certain point and then I was like, I want to make all my chapters longer. So I did what they say you're never supposed to do, and I went back to the start and started rewriting from the first chapter. And then when I got back to the point I was at, I've been going again from there. At that point, it was about 30,000 words. So yeah. Anyway, it is, a project I'm growing to love. I wasn't super in love with it when I started it. I know, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I didn't feel hugely called to write it, but it felt like something I could write. With my first novel, I felt like it was in my soul. I had to get it out kind of thing. My first novel is a coming of age story and it's out on Amazon and Apple book places currently, if you're interested. But that was like a really emotional novel to write. There was a lot of crying over the keyboard. There was a lot of really intense emotions with writing that book. And this book, it's just kind of like I'm further removed from the characters, but I don't think that's a bad thing because I think it means I can think more analytically about the book and make smarter decisions and, I'm less attached to things. Like if something's not working, I'm just like, cool, scrap that, try something else. Which in a way I was really precious about. Like when I was editing my first novel, I was really precious about everything that happened, and I wanted it to happen in that way. And that's one of the reasons why I self-published it, because I was really, really attached to kind of wanting it to happen exactly in that way. But anyway, that's enough of me rambling for the intro. We'll get into the video, and thanks for being here. See you soon. So this is the page we're currently on. I don't know whether we'll finish the book tonight. We'll have to see. Anyway. Okay, so I just read it for an hour, and the last third of the book, I'm not quite finished, but it's full on. I suppose if you start something with really high stakes initially, there's nowhere for you to go but to take it to a really drastic place. And when you do take it to that drastic place, I guess you risk turning people off because they're like, oh my God, that's too much. Like, ugh, pull back. And what I read was a lot. So yeah, interesting. I think you learn a lot from reading. Anyway, those are my current thoughts. I will update, I'll probably finish the book tomorrow or the next day. So I'll update you then. Okay. It is a Wednesday and we are back on the writing grind. Goal for today, I'd really like to get to the time jump because I've been feeling so close to it for weeks and weeks, and I think another 1,000 words will just do it. Yeah. Oh, okay. Time to rip the band-aid off. Time to start writing. Okay, so I'm about 500 words in, and I've gotten to this point where my character gets asked a question, and I don't know what her answer should be. So I'm kind of just a bit stuck, and I'm talking it through to kind of help think about it. I guess she gets caught in this kind of like daydream, ferreted away state where she's not quite present, and she's been in that for most, a significant amount of time, and now someone pulls her out of it by asking what she's thinking about, and I'm not sure what she should say. Yeah. Emotional states are hard. I need to think about this. I might update you when I get through to an answer. Quick note, I made it to the time jump. I'm really happy to be at this point in the story. It feels good to finally be here. It's definitely taken me a lot more words than I thought it would to get here. I was thinking, another 1,000 words, like 4,000 words ago. But yes, yay. Now the story can take a different direction. I don't exactly know where I'm going next. I don't have it outlined. But yeah, more updates soon, more writing, more everything. Yay. Hey, it's been a minute. I last spoke to you on Wednesday, and it's now Sunday. And in that time, I finished this book. So I wanted to talk about it for a bit because I liked it, but I had this problem with it, and I wonder if anyone else has ever encountered this in their writing. There was one thing that kept coming up that the author kept doing, and I kept being like, don't know if I believe that. And it had to do with dreams. The character, she kept having these really vivid religious dreams, and they were super specific, and it was kind of, revealing essentially her unhappiness. But the thing I found about it was like, I can't imagine ever having a dream like that. I'm not super religious or anything, but I can't imagine dreaming about, if you've read the book, you'll understand what I mean. And it kept happening, and I felt like it really colored the way I looked at the book, because I felt like it seemed, maybe, I don't know if lazy is the right word, but it felt like when she didn't know what to do to kind of transition in between two scenes, she would include a dream. And yeah, I just didn't buy it. And it made me think about my own transitions in my own writing and whether they're working or not. And so the update with the progress of my novel is that I'm in the second section, and I roughly think that needs to be 15 to 20,000 words for the book to feel balanced. And I'm not really sure what's going to happen in it at the moment. I didn't outline this book. I've just been writing it kind of as I go, one little chunk at a time, in the arc of the narrative, and kind of discovering where I'm going as I'm writing. But yeah, I don't know whether I need to find some more concreteness in what's going to happen in this final section, because it's the last bit of the book, so obviously it's important to kind of tie everything together that's happened. And I know what's happened, so there's a time jump in between the two sections. I know what's happened to the character in between in the in-between time, but I'm kind of picking up from 40 years later, 30 years later, I don't know, something like that. I need to do the math more accurately. But yeah, that's where my head's at. Should I outline more thoroughly what's going to happen in this section? That's the big question. But that is tomorrow's question. So, see you then.